What's going on, guys? PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. This race is going to be a little bit different from our usual races, as we usually do daily races and manufacturer cup race, but this is a lobby that I found where everybody is driving the exact same car. So we're going to be all choosing a grade 3 car and selecting which track we want to race on. So it's a lot more exciting on these races because it takes out the emphasis on which car you select for the races and brings in more control to the driver's hands. So it's all about driving control, see who's the fastest on these cars. Is also you got to be aware of the fuel consumption and the tire wear, as there is tire wear and fuel consumption during these 6-lap sprints. So another thing that was added to this is that all these races have to be done in cockpit view, so it just brings that much more of a realism to the races. So if you guys really enjoyed that type of stuff, you guys are in for a treat. Anyways, before we jump into the race, if you guys haven't yet, we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. And that's enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into the action. For our first race, we are here in the Porsche 911s, as we are starting in 11th place in Suzuka. As the field was randomized, there was no qualifying. Everything was just randomized. As you can see, we are starting in 11th. We hit the 5 red lights, and we are going now on Suzuka, as it's a grid start, not a rolling start, and we are already losing a position, actually 2 positions, as we jump down to 13th position, going into turn number 1. As you can see, the 911 ahead of us bumps out with the car ahead of us, and there's 3 911s going out wide, heading to turn number 2. So we're able to make up 3 positions, and we are able to promote ourselves all the way up to 10th place. So starting 11th up to 10th place, not too shabby. As we head into the S curves now, you see there's a lot of Porsches ahead of us as we're trying to catch up to them now, as we are just trying to stay with them, as we're going to try to shoot for a podium here, as it's going to be very, very difficult to make overtakes on this track, as it's just very, very narrow and really, really difficult, especially if everyone's in the exact same car. So coming into Degner 1, Degner 2, we are right behind the Porsche. We have to move out of the way as we brake very, very late, as the car ahead of us braked really early, in my opinion, and we had to avoid the trouble there, and luckily we weren't overtaken, as we were now going into the hairpin. So going into the hairpin, we are in 10th, and we are able to cover our spot as we come out of the hairpin now. So this race was very, very interesting, because again, racing in cockpit view is just really, really difficult, as if you can't see really anything on the left or the right hand side. It's not like if you're racing on Assetto Corsa or on iRacing, and so on those you can have a bigger side of view. But on Gran Turismo, it's a little difficult to race on cockpit view. If you guys race in cockpit view, I honestly have so much respect for you guys. It's for me, it was really difficult to do overtakes and just race like this. So, anyways, coming into lap number 2, turn number 1, you can see they're starting to get antsy ahead of us. It's, 2 Porsches are making contact with each other. We go into the inside, heading into S curves, and we're able to make the position up there. So we promote ourselves into 7th place. We got a yellow flag, but I'm not sure what happened. I didn't really see a car going out, but somehow we're all the way up into 7th now, as we're heading through the middle part of S curves. You can see the top 2 cars are already running away from everybody, as we're just trying to navigate ourselves through the field, heading into Degner 1, Degner 2 now, coming out of Dunlop curve. We're getting a good run on the Porsche ahead of us, so we try to look on the inside, but we back out of the move there, as the Porsche wasn't going to let us go through, as it's more of a 1-lane turn as we head into Degner 2. Coming out of Degner 2, you see the car gets RKO'd as we head into the hairpin now, so we got to cover our spot as we head into the hairpin, and we do so. Now coming down the straightaway, heading into 130R. Coming out of 130R, you see 5th place goes a little bit wide. He spins out. He tries to lose it, and we have to do a wreck avoidance challenge again, and we go through the chicane now, as we are now promoted all the way up into 5th, and we see podium in our sights. So all we have to do is just stay behind these 2 cars, try to catch up to them, not make any mistakes, and we should be able to get a podium as we jump up into lap number 3 now. So halfway through the race, we're heading to the hairpin. Can we catch up to these front 2 guys and make an overtake on them, as they are running pretty fine lines? And for me, it's kind of difficult to get the line good, as we keep messing up on our lines. It's really difficult to do it on cockpit view, as we jump up into lap number 4, heading into the straightaway that's going to lead us into spoon curve. We're trying to keep it all the way to the right hand side, brake right after that AstroTurf, and you can see right there that there's a ghost car ahead of us. I wasn't sure if it was 2nd place or what, so I was trying to keep my distance away from him, because I didn't know if he was going to pop back up, but you see that he stays as a ghost. So I have the idea now that it's probably a car that's getting overtaken or lapped down, so that we can just pass him without having any hesitation. So we're just trying to get past him now, as he actually runs wide. So distracted us a little bit, but now we set our sights again back on 3rd and 4th place as we head into the chicane and try to gain as much position, as much time as we can on 4th place as we come out of the final corner, heading us into the straightaway. So jumping into lap number 5, the top 2 cars ahead of us are still kind of fighting with each other as we head into turn number 1. 4th gives 5th a little bit of a shunt, but he gets a little loose, and that invites us into catch up to them. But since we're heading into the S-curves, it's very, very difficult to try to make an overtake, so we just got to follow them through as we still are too far back to try to make any type of moves heading into the S-curves now. So coming out of the S-curves, heading into Dunlop curve, we're still right behind the 2 Porsches ahead of us as they run very, very narrow heading into the Dunlop curve. So we get a really good exit. We're going to try to catch up to them as we head into Degner 1, Degner 2, and try to build up as much speed as we can. Going into here, brake right before the 50-meter board, clip the apex right there, brake right before the actual turf ends, clip the second apex heading out of Degner 2 as we try to get into the slipstream heading into the hairpin, but we just can't get a good enough exit as the tires are starting to wear out a little bit now heading into the hairpin. Heading to the hairpin, we catch up a little bit, try to get a good exit, but we failed miserably in trying to get a good exit coming out of the hairpin. So coming into the final lap now, it's our last chance to make up the top 2 positions and get a podium. As you see, 4th place is just going left and right, trying to go every which way to swerve 3rd place, and he makes a brilliant overtake going into turn number 1. Is able to overtake 4th place as we're now behind 4th and 3rd again still, and we're trying to still catch up to him as we head into the S-curves now. 4th and 3rd are still fighting with each other as we're slowly gaining on them, and you can see they're still battling with each other as we head into the final part of the S-curves. 4th place tries to make an inside line going into Dunlop, but 3rd place covers him, and we get a good entrance going into Dunlop curve. But again, we're just losing grip from the tires as we're sliding coming out of the Dunlop curve, heading into Degner 1, Degner 2. 4th place looks into the inside, but it's too far back to make a move as we try to catch up to them heading into Degner 2. 4th place gets a really good run coming out of Degner 2, and he's gotten a good run going into the hairpin as he tries to make a wide, goes into the inside, bumps out 3rd place, and 3rd place goes out wide, gets annihilated as we try to catch up to 3rd place now, as now we are trying to catch up for him to get into the podium, but you see 4th place is still right behind us, so he was able to get bumped out, but still is able to stay right behind us as we're trying to get into the slipstream of 3rd place, heading into Spoon Curve. Coming into Spoon Curve, we hit our braking points, trying to make a move on the inside, but we're a little too far back as we're now trying to cover the inside as we're starting to get pressure from 5th place. So 5th place is now still right behind us as we both run out wide, heading down the straightaway that leads us into 130R. Going into 130R now, we're going to try to take it as smooth as possible. We clip the curb right there, head out wide as we try to make a move on the outside now, try to get a good run heading into the chicane. We catch up a lot on 3rd place, try to get a great exit coming out, but we lose the back end, and that's going to be 4th place for us as we were unable to pass 3rd place and get the podium on our first race. So really fun, not too shabby, as now we are going to jump up into our second race here. So jumping into our second race, we are at Dragon Trails, the Gardens Edition, and we are starting, I believe, again in 11th. Let's see, the grid comes up, and we're starting in 12th, so 12th out of 15. 5 lights go out, we are a go. We try to make a move on the inside, but so does another car, so we make contact with him as we got to go all the way back to the left part of the track as we're heading into turn number 1. We actually make up a position going into turn number 1, and 9 and 10 make a little bit of contact, so that gains us another positions as we are promoted all the way up into 10th, heading to turn number 2 here. 9th and 8th make a little bit of contact as there's a car that goes spinning out wide onto the left-hand side, and we are able to gain another position. So now we are up to 9th as 7th gets a little bump there coming out of that chicane. We're now heading into the left-hander coming up right here. That's going to lead us into a hard braking zone. You see there's a car right on the inside of us, so he's going to try to make a move on the inside as we try to brake as late as we can. Braking right before the rumble strip. 8th place or 6th place goes out wide. It comes right in front of us as we have to let go of the throttle right there, hit the brakes to avoid contact. Coming into the right-hand side into the snaky area, we get punted out by 9th place, so we lose 2 positions. 8th and 9th make contact, and luckily they don't wreck ahead of us. As you see, 9th cuts off 10th, and we're just trying to get close to them as we're going to head into the 4 right turns right here. That's a very long sweeping right-hander. You see we hit the first one, we hit the second apex good. We're going to try to hit the 3rd and 4th one really good, and we are unable to make any ground on 10th place, heading down the straightaway, leading us into the final corner. So coming out to the final corner, you see 4th place goes into the barrier, spins out, and loses a few positions. As we're coming out of the final corner now, we see the car that spun out right ahead of us, and we're able to gain 10th position. So now we are promoted all the way up into 10th after starting in 12th. So coming into lap number 2, we're heading into the S section as we're heading to the final 2 turns. We try to make a move on the inside of 9th, but we're a little too far back as we're actually getting pressure from behind. Heading to the 4 right-handers here. That is kind of resemblance to Turkey. You see that 11th place is starting to gain a good entrance going into these 4 right-handers, and he actually goes into the inside, makes a great overtake as we get very, very wide coming out of the 4 right-handers, and we're starting to get under pressure again by 12th place as he's trying to make a move on the outside heading into the final couple corners. He makes a move on the outside as we try to cover our spot from 13th so we don't lose another position. We try to go very, very wide, but we actually lose it on the back end coming out of the final corner, and we are now demoted all the way down to 13th position as we head into lap number 3. So coming into lap number 3, we head into the first corner again, getting into the second corner. We try to make an early entrance as we're going to try to make a move on 12th, or at least try to catch up to him. As 12th goes very, very wide, we get a good exit coming out of the final corner of that section right there, and we get to the inside of 12th place. We're going to try to make a move on the inside and try to brake as late as we can, heading into this corner right here. Brake right before the rumble strips on the inside there, and we're able to gain 12th position as we come out of the corner now. So on the replay here, you see that we just got a really good exit coming out of that section of corners. We just get a good top end speed as 12th place really, really struggled coming out of that corner. We're going to keep it onto the inside as 13th was trying to push us down now. And we brake very, very late coming into this corner right here. 13th was still alongside of us, but we were able to make the position up right there, heading into the S part of the track. So coming into the left-hander, that's going to lead us into the right-hander. We try to clip the apex as best as we can since we know 13th is still right behind us. Clip the second apex. We actually missed that one, and 13th actually goes spinning out wide. So we go back to the replay right here. 13th is right behind us, goes out wide, clips the gravel, spins out, and that gives us 12th place without any pressure from behind. Now heading into lap number 4. Heading to lap number 4, we're trying to make the same move on the BMW ahead of us as we head into this chicane-looking part of the track. We try to get a good exit coming out, and unfortunately we were unable to get a really good run as we're just staying behind him on the slipstream. But you see there's a car that goes spinning out, so we get in another position. So now we're up to 11th as we try to brake right early before the rumble strips, try to catch up to 10th as we head into the technical section of the racetrack. So coming out of lap number 5 now, we're heading into turn number 1 as we're trying to gain on 9th place. We get a good run coming out of turn number 1 as we're on the right hand side now. Brake right before the rumble strip as 9th place gets a really late entrance into that corner. We try to keep it as pinched to the right as we can, try to get a good cornering entrance into the final corner, and we're able to get a good run coming out too. So we're on the strip here now, trying to make a move on 9th place the same way we did on the car 2 laps previous. Is we're trying to make a move on the inside now, brake right before the rumble strip, and we're able to gain 9th place. But he tries to make a cutback on us. We cover the spot there as we head into the technical section of the track right now. So heading to the left corner here, going to the right corner, you see there's a gaggle of cars ahead of us. So hopefully they can try to avoid it or make a mistake as we get bunted off by 9th place. And he actually makes a very, very aggressive overtake as we head into the 4 right corners now. And we're just trying to catch up to him as he clips the gravel there. We try to make a move on the inside coming out of this 4 corners right here. He's going to give us the space. He does, and we're able to overtake him to get into 9th place, coming out onto the straightaway, leading us into the final 2 corners. We're able to hold the position there. So coming into the final lap now, we're heading into the final, the beginning section of the last chicane right there. And you can see 7th place goes out wide again, and we're able to try to capitalize on that, get into the slipstream of 7th place, as we're going to try to stay with him as we are going to not be able to make an overtake here like we did previously, but we brake as late as we can to try to clip the apex as best as we can, get a good run coming out. We come out right here, and we actually get loose, and we try to save the car. We're able to save the car, but you see right there, 9th is trying to make a move on the inside, makes an aggressive move again, coming to the inside, and he actually gets a corner cut penalty, so we are now behind him. So let's see if we can try to catch up to him as he only has a 1/10 of a second penalty. Penalty system is not the same as they are on daily races. It's a little bit different as we try to go to the 4 right corners here as we're going to try to catch up to 8th. He loses his penalties now as we're coming down to the straightaway here, heading to the final few corners. We're going to try to get into the slipstream of 8th place and hopefully make a last minute attempt to make an overtake on 8th place as we head in to the final few corners. Brake right after the 100-meter board. Try to get a good exit as we come out of the final corner. We're not going to be able to get the position. And we finished this race in 9th place. So fun races that we had here, as every single race was done with the same car. So it just brought that driver element to the races. As you can see, we were only able to make up 3 positions, unlike last race. But if you guys really enjoy stuff like that, let me know in the comment down below, as this lobby runs a couple times during the week. And if you guys want to see these races, the unedited version without me commentating and just seeing me drive the entire race, I left a link in the description where you guys can just click on that, and it'll just show you guys the race from my perspective without any commentary, no edits. So if you guys want to just check that out, just click on the description down below and click on those links. Anyways, if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the videos. It really helps out the channel when you guys do so, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.